Hey friend, Roger Christopherson here again with another first listen review, and I'm going to be babbling about what was actually a really old album, but it's the new deluxe version of Alice Cooper in his Muscle of Love Deluxe edition, and so it is a first listen for that, so it counts. Alice Cooper is one of these guys that, you know, it seems like everybody loves Alice. I mean, I remember hearing his stuff like way back in high school and didn't really know who he was at that point in time. Of course, School's Out was the big theme song every summer, you know, everybody blasted that on the radio. And, you know, I knew all the hits, but it wasn't until like later on, and people are going to laugh at this, but Constrictor was actually the first album that I got, and I really thought that was a good album. It was, you know, I was in that vein of listening to type, you know, I say hair metal, but it kind of fell into that vein there. And then, you know, Raise Your Fist and Yell came after that, and that was the tour I actually saw him on was that one. And I remember I was in college at the time, and I was walking to a class. It was a night class, and I think it was my brother-in-law to be, I actually ran into, you know, just walking back and forth. I'm like, hey, what's up? You know, heading to the night class, whatever. And oh, it's too bad we, you know, missing out on Alice Cooper. He's playing up in, you know, about an hour away from us. And we're like, you know what, we should just go. We don't have tickets or anything. So we hopped on our car, one of our cars, I don't even remember, drove up there, bought tickets off a scalper, and had 8th row seats, and it was an awesome show. I don't regret skipping that class at all. And from that point on, I was like a huge fan, went back and got all the earlier stuff. And this actually was not one of the ones I got at first. You know, I got like Welcome to My Nightmare, I think was the first one I bought after. And then I don't really remember exactly, but somewhere along the line I did end up getting this one, so I'd heard it before. And what I liked about this album was he did a lot of theatrical stuff in between like Billion Dollar Babies and the other one that is slipping my mind, School's Out, I already mentioned it. We're kind of like, you know, more theatrical. This one was more like just a rock album, and I thought it was pretty cool. Like the song Muscle of Love itself is actually an awesome song, I think. And you know, it's just got cool riffs. It sounds like live. I like the way he sings on this one. He actually, you know, even though time's taken its toll on Alice's voice, he had a lot of emotion in his voice. He had a pretty good range actually back in these days too. He actually, you know, for the style he was doing and the character he was portraying, he actually did a really good job, I think. So, you know, just putting this on and listening to it again, I hadn't listened to this in like really, really long time. Of course, I've got Teenage Lament 74 on here too, which is the cool song, but it's almost like listening to an album for the first time again, because several of these songs I actually hadn't heard in so long, I had forgotten how they went. So that's always cool. I like going back and re-listening to the old albums, and it's one of these things about these reissues kind of does it just, you know, it's like a time machine. You just kind of go back in time and remember the first time you heard this stuff, and this brings back memories and stuff. That's always a cool thing. Now the disc 2 on this, it's got some earlier, it's kind of weird how they mixed it up. They got early versions. I don't know if they're demos or not. They keep calling them early versions, so I don't know if this is just like a take. It sounds like a take that was done in the studio and they just didn't use it. It doesn't really sound like demos to me, so I'm assuming that's what they mean by this, of like Big Apple Dreamin' and Never Been Sold Before. That's a really good song too. They're all good songs, but then Crazy Little Child, got the early version. Man with the Golden Gun, also another really good song. Those were all just like early versions. Then they have some alternate mixes of Hard Hearted Alice, Working Up a Sweat, Muscle of Love, and A Woman Machine. Even listening through a couple times, I didn't pick up a whole lot. It was different in that, so I don't know if I just wasn't in the right frame of mind to be paying attention, but it sounded good. I just didn't really hear a whole lot different going on there, so I don't know what it was in any of those. Of course, you know, I tend to listen to things all the way through, so by the time I got to that point, I didn't go back and double check, but it was nice having them. And then there's the earlier version, or the acoustic version of Teenage Lament, which is probably the most oddball thing on this whole disc that I don't know. I would have liked to have heard like some cool demos and stuff. I don't know how they actually work. Back a lot of bands didn't do demos. They would just go in and they'd work them out in production, and I know that some of the bands I've been involved with, we didn't record anything ahead of time. We just worked the stuff out in pre-production. You set tempos, what works, what doesn't work, and other instrumentation, and you just go in and do it. So that's probably kind of what they did back in these days. I don't know. But this also does include the Blu-ray and all the extra stuff, which I haven't gotten to yet, but I'm sure I will. And it's got the little booklet in here that describes everything. It's actually more detailed than the other one I was just talking about, the U2 one, which had nothing in it. But this was kind of cool. I like it when they describe what was going on during the recording process, and I'll probably get some more information after I read all that, but I haven't done it yet. So anyways, this is my quick first impressions of it. That's why I call it first listen review, because this is just the first impression I got of it, but definitely worth it. It sounds the remaster on this one sounds pretty good. I think this was remastered. I actually just assuming it was. Oh yeah, I'll check the liner notes here. I actually didn't look into it again, of course, because that's, I never prepare for any of this stuff. I just pop record and start talking, or babbling, as some may say. But anyway, I enjoyed it. It was just fun going back and listening to it. A lot of good songs on here that I'd forgotten, and can't wait to hear some more of the stuff. I hope they keep doing it. And as always, feel free to leave your comments on what you think about Alice, and if you've had a chance to hear this, what you think of it. And like, share, and subscribe to keep this music alive, because he's still out there, just still going, man. It's like he just does not stop. He's just touring and making new music, and man, just showing us how it's all done. So anyway, until next time, we will see you.